Guys, I will start the stream as soon as possible. My one of my pugs is having a seizure. I'll be right back. Hey guys. Hey Warpugs. Okay, so whew, um that happened. I am going to get myself back together. Um and I'll be starting everything off. I do apologize I do apologize about this. I know you guys are going to say it doesn't matter, but I feel yeah. Um Connor is okay. Connor is okay. Give me a few minutes to get myself together over here, and we'll get started. I'll explain a little bit more about it. What how this happens. He's okay. He's fine. He just he just had one of his things. So it's always nerve wracking when this happens. It's always nerve wracking when this happens. But he is okay. I'm gonna get myself together and then we'll get started. Okay. And I'll explain a little bit more. But I like just came back in here, sat down, put my headset on to give you guys an update real quick. He's fine. It's good. He's just fine. So I'm gonna get myself together, then we'll get started. All right. So, um, yeah, that is never a good thing. I was in here getting ready to basically get myself started, and my wife called me from the living room, said that Connor was staring at the lights and things like that. Connor is my oldest pug. He is about 7 years old. Um, and he about a few years ago, he we woke up to get ready to walk him outside, and we thought he was being difficult until I came around the corner and saw how he was behaving. He's had seizures before, but when they do happen, I mean, this one was about mid-range for him, but when he does have them, it's never a situation that I want to be out of the room for. It's never a situation that I want to be away from him during. So it's just one of those situations. It's really stressful for him. It's really stressful for especially my wife, because Connor is her dog, her pug. But yeah. So what it really boils down to is like, he does have these every once in a while. He does, and he's okay. Once he comes out of it, he gets up, and the first thing he wants to do is apologize to everybody. And he wants to come up and nuzzle everybody because he drools and stuff like that, and I don't even care as long as I see him happy again. Then he wants to eat. So once he starts eating, we know he's come out of it and he's fine. So I do apologize for starting late. But like, I'm not gonna apologize for the reason I'm starting late. My boy is okay. He's eating. He's snuggled up next to his mama right now, and he's feeling better. He really just doesn't understand. He gets really confused after, so he just wants a lot of attention and stuff like that. So he's fine. He got himself he ate himself a little bit of food. Then he came back and sat down next to his mama, and he sat down. So, yeah, he's doing fine. Tonight, yeah, it's not easy to witness, and I don't like to, I wish I was, when I was sitting here, when I turned on the camera, I was gonna try to come up with a reason. I was gonna have to step away, but like, I blanked and I just blurted out what was actually happening, because I don't want to bring you guys down, honestly, but yeah, that's what was going on. Thank you, Weird. Yes, Arch to teach legal mindset about 40K judicial system. Apparently, the lawyer's a huge 40K nerd. Legal mindset. Who? I don't even know who either. Well, I know who Arch is. Would I ever fire 950 JDJ? Have I ever worn a long sleeve during a video? These are the important questions. No and no. Would I ever fire JDJ? No. And have I ever worn a long sleeve in a video? Maybe one of the really early, like back in like early 2020s? Maybe? I don't know. But today we're going to learn a little bit more about guns. And oh my god, it's almost... It's a lot of straight gun talk. It's a lot of straight gun talk. Alright. Let's get in. Let's go. Here we go.
What are my hotkeyed weapons? We've got MP9. My AR, which doesn't exist, apparently.
Invisible AR is always the most deadly weapon ever.
Because maybe it's just because the receiver and everything changed.
Everybody stand back! That mime has a gun!
Oh my god, they actually modeled the bolt inside this? Whoa! Holy crap, that's actually in depth.
Yeah.
Damn, you guys did good.
People weren't expecting you to break the game and being able to see the bolt in
wow,
there.
I'm impressed.
Is that your gun? That's your gun.
Check out my new gun.
Nice.
It's just an upper receiver.
Yeah, baby.
Hey, Joe Rogan, you're late to the stream? Dude, it's actually just beginning. You're currently sick with a stomach infection. Spent most of the morning on the toilet. Ugh, Rogan. Has the toilet tried DMT?
Just works. Invisible mag.
Yeah, I got it.
Nice.
Look at my new California compliant AR. Wow. They modeled this really well. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah?
Give me
They
8
modeled
gauge,
this
Jenner. Give me
really
8.
well.
Oh, it's not just a hunting rifle with a few add-ons?
Yeah, they did a really good job modeling this. It's interesting that they modeled it with it fired.
What do you mean? With it fired?
This piece right below the sight is
Yeah.
the cocking piece.
Okay.
LOL cock. When that is forward, that means that it has fired. That's basically the striker. When
Okay.
it's forward, that means the gun has fired.
Uh-huh.
So it's interesting that it's modeled like that.
Nice, camper.
And now that we're outside, okay, so the thing right below the front sight. Oh, see, now it's cocked. The thing right below the rear sight is the cocking piece.
Nice.
One of the things I really like about the Lee Enfield is that it's got this sight system, which is just like the battle sight. You just use this for basically like general purpose.
Yeah, of
But you
course.
can flip up the rear sight, and it's got like a fully adjustable dial for all kinds of different ranges for like precision shooting.
Oh.
It's great.
You fired that one before, Matthew?
Lee Enfield's been around since like World War I.
Oh,
They
yeah.
had multiple different adjustable
This-
sights.
Yeah. It's been around since World War I. There's a bunch of different variants of it. I don't know which variant of the Lee Enfield this is. I think it's the Mark IV.
It's actually the Mark V.
Is it?
I have no idea.
Okay. Let me look at this again.
How many Lee Enfields have you seen in your life?
Oh, a lot. I've seen a ton of them. These things are so prolific. This was the British military's standard issue rifle for years. From World War I until post-World War II. This was the British military standard issue rifle.
It's so nice,
I feel
too.
like the magazine is a bit small.
Yeah, it's only a 10-round magazine.
Is that standard?
Yeah,
0.25?
they're standard with a 10-round magazine, which was a lot for the time period. Especially considering that in World War I, most infantry rifles had like 5 rounds max.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So the British actually had a noticeable advantage when it came to infantry firepower in the fact that they had 10-round magazines.
I honestly can't believe it was so small.
This gun wasn't designed for the type of modern combat that we think of now, where you're running around, clearing buildings, kicking open doors, like shooting around corners and making sure, doing stuff like that. It was designed for almost Napoleonic warfare, where you have like 200 guys all standing in a line at defilade, aiming over a berm, and the commander says, ready, aim, fire. Everyone fires. Ready, aim, fire. Everyone fire. You have that kind of stuff happening. And then, when the enemy gets close enough, you go fire at will, and everyone goes nuts.
Yeah.
To that end, I think the original Lee Enfield actually had a magazine cut off, where basically you could make it so that the gun will, even though the magazine is full, the rifle will not feed from the magazine. So you have to single-hand put a round into the chamber, close the bolt. Because that way, you can control everyone's fire rate, you can have a whole squad of soldiers and tell them you're firing one at a time, and then, oh shit, the Germans are 5 feet away, disengage the magazine cut off, everyone shoot.
Okay. It sounds like there's a lot of history behind this weapon.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of history. This is what...
Jenner, that's absolutely terrifying. That's absolutely terrifying. Am I a big fan of sci-fi? Not at all. Yeah, Worlds, I read about that, actually. I read about that. They just didn't understand what they were dealing with there. Have I ever fired a 50 cal? Yes.
allowed the British to do the whole, like, the British had this whole thing that was called the Mad Minute, where they could fire just a ton of rounds in 1 minute. Which, by a ton of rounds in 1 minute, I mean, like, I don't know, 30.
It's probably less than we would be able to do today.
Oh, yeah, it's way less than we would be able
Oh,
to do
yeah.
with automatic weapons. Yeah. Do you know what the last Western organized military to use the Lee Enfield was?
Do tell.
The Canadian Rangers.
Huh.
Oh.
In 2017.
Yeah, but how much combat are they going to be seeing as Canadian Rangers?
Not that much, but the Canadian Rangers are an actual military unit. They were issued this because most of the Canadian Rangers are First Nations people, and they live, like, way up in the Arctic Circle of Canada. And they needed a bolt-action rifle that was capable of incredible operation at sub-freezing temperatures for extended periods of time.
Oh, is this good at that kind of temperature?
Oh, yeah, it's great at it.
Stryer
If
on,
it's
Sean.
maintained well, this thing is amazing at doing that.
All right.
And they only recently replaced it. I want to say it was in 20... I don't remember exactly. My brain is a flawed computer. Well, my brain is a flawed meat computer.
He literally says his brain's a flawed computer, but he's gonna spit for over an hour about flat out guns. Are you kidding me? That is so crazy. PvP, I don't hunt right now.
So is Darlene's brain.
Darlene's brain is a flawed regular computer. Mine is a flawed meat computer.
Meat!
They only replaced it recently with the Tika T3X Arctic. It's another bolt-action rifle that has a very easy integration of a scope. It's kind of hard to integrate a scope on the Lee Enfield. It requires some finagling.
Yeah,
finagling,
doesn't
yeah.
seem like it's got the handguards set up for it.
If you put a scope on it, there's a couple problems you run into. One problem is the scope is going to be on the top of the receiver, which now, yes, the gun has a detachable magazine, but it's really designed to be fed with stripper clips. So when you run out of ammo, you open the bolt, jam a stripper clip in there, push 5 rounds down into the magazine, push another 5 rounds, you're all set.
Top loading your
Okay.
gun.
Yeah. The problem with attaching...
Is she in a witch outfit? And why are they just hanging around the church? I'm just asking. Oh, what's going on here? Alan, thank you, bud. You ever see that Looney Tunes episode where Bugs lies to get out of going to a fair with Porky Daffy? And Daffy thinks he's being kicked out and joins the Marines? It's not far-fetched because he was an airborne commando in World War II. Wait a minute, what? No, I've never seen that. I have never seen that at all. Okay.
An optic to the top
Thank you,
of it
Alan.
is your cheek is raised kind of high off the stock, and 2,
Yeah, that's called height over bore.
it is you remember things.
I remembered. I am absorbing information.
The
Yay!
problem is that now you can't really load it quickly, or you can attach it off the side, but then you end up with like having to do weird zeroing stuff. So
Yeah.
That's Piper. Okay. Feet per second, if the power load was done correctly, it would be around 1. Jenner, it doesn't matter how much feet per second that thing's moving if it's a shotgun shell that weighs that much. That is absolutely insane.
ooh, stripper clips. Woo! Yo! Okay, well, only downside is that it doesn't appear to calculate how many rounds you've actually fired. Woo! Oh, look how fast that was!
Nice.
Jam, 2 stripper clips in there. Woo.
Oh man, I'm so good at this.
Oh, you sure you're not a robot? Oh, that's right, you are. Excellent sighting. So precise.
Oh, command, this gun. Oh, I'm real happy about this, actually. I'm tickled about this. What caliber is it?
308.
Oh, okay, it is 308. All right, let's see what we can do to the Lee Enfield.
Oh, God.
Sure.
Standard calibrated hardened Larnjo?
Laranjo.
What is Laranjo?
Laranjo.
Oh, I don't like this at all.
Little Laranjo is on your firearm.
I do not like Laranjo at all.
Ah, he's a fun little companion.
Yes.
I was really embarrassed the other day because oh no.
What
Oh,
the
look,
hell
little
is
baby
that?
receiver. I
Oh
love it.
no.
I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. It's so dumb.
Oh no. Oh, there's a jungle carbine version.
I love it even more.
Okay.
That is big and dumb and stupid.
That's weird because it's like a grenade. It's like a weird grenade launching variant.
Yeah.
Like a trench-made grenade launching variant, except that the grenade launcher is a suppressor. I've made an Obraz.
Yay, little Lee Enfield Obraz. He's shortened the barrel so much.
I should pull the trigger on this, and it should just be like a grenade going off in front of my face. You ready?
Yeah. What other stupid things can we do with this firearm?
Let's see. Flipped iron sight. Oh, you can do the flipped up iron sight.
Okay.
You were talking about that, yes.
Glow sights, flipped glow sights, short scope. This is what I meant about like attaching an optic to it. That you can do it. It just requires a lot of like screw-on bolty mechanisms. That has got a solid thunk to it, though.
It does.
I know how much you've always wanted everything Laranjo.
I didn't know I wanted that until just now.
The Laranjo.
Yes, there's the Laranjo on the stock, and on the barrel, and on the receiver, and on the scope, and on the magazine. It's great.
There's a Laranjo everywhere, and I hate it. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. I'm
Okay.
getting rid of it.
Oh, you can put the Canadian skin on it. Oh, for Canada.
Oh,
RPD-41?
Canada, I have a Lee Enfield.
Yes.
Wraps, a little bit of tape, bit more tape, some more tape, enough tape.
That's a lot of tape.
Enough tape.
With glow sights on it. Now
Yeah.
we can't cosplay as World War I soldiers if you're using glow sights.
You
Why not?
can, because they would legitimately paint radium on their sites.
Oh,
Yep.
neat. World War I war fact.
Yeah. Oh shit! They got an MP5.
An actual
He's always
useful
happy
weapon.
about that.
This is a youthful weapon. How dare you? Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not useful.
Hey, I like bolt actions, but you know what I don't do? Take him into combat.
Bolt actions are perfectly. No, it's actually not true. Bolt actions are completely obsolete for combat.
True.
Oh,
shit.
cool! Look out!
Ghouls!
Why did you swap over to a fully automatic rifle and not using your Lee Enfield? Is it because the Lee Enfield's awful?
It's not awful. It's just obsolete.
Okay.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm gonna ignore the fact that I'm using one of my dream guns as a club.
Is this your dream gun? I found it lying on the ground. I think it's broken.
Yeah, it's one of my dream guns, and you're using it as a club.
I didn't realize.
We're gonna gloss over that fact,
Why do you?
Mike.
What do you dream of broken guns?
Whoa! Yup, we're 100% taking that.
What in the world was that?
Hey, you found another one of those broken guns.
I don't think it's not at least I don't think it's broken. Hang on. Nobody move. Yeah, it ain't broken. Oh my god, yes!
I'm sorry, yours is
What
functional.
is that?
You can't use it as a melee implement. I guess you.
Why would I want to use it as a melee implement, Mike? It's one of my dream guns.
Exactly.
Why would I want to use it as a melee implement?
What is this?
Exactly what?
Because hitting people in the face is fun.
Accurate, but what the hell is it?
Did you see how I just absolutely wasted that dude?
You're also using up ammo, which you don't do if you use your weapon like I do.
I don't even know what to say. This is legitimately one of my dream guns. I want one of these so bad.
What is it?
Oh my
It's
god.
the Shogun Inertial.
Gesundheit.
Technically is the second semi-automatic shotgun ever invented. But the first semi-automatic shotgun ever invented beat it by like a week, I think.
Okay.
And the first semi-automatic shotgun was, I believe, the Browning Auto 5?
Nice.
Is that why you want this gun? Because it's the silver medal?
No, I want this gun because it's the first inertial recoil shotgun.
I thought you said it was the second.
It's the second semi-automatic shotgun, but
He's just being an ass at this point.
the first inertial recoil shotgun.
Oh, I guess I don't know what inertial recoil is.
Inertial recoil is a different type of recoil system where basically the force of the shell casing pushing against the firing pin and bolt is what causes the gun to cycle.
So it's
Okay.
a unique loading mechanism.
It's very unique. Unlike the Browning Auto 5, which is long... I think Browning Auto 5 is long recoil. Recoil-operated guns are effectively how the M250 caliber machine gun works. That's a recoil-operated
okay.
gun.
Okay. I'll be honest.
It's going over your head. It's fine. Don't worry about it. This is effectively the second semi-automatic shotgun ever made, and the only reason it wasn't the first was because it came out a week after the Browning Auto 5,
Which got all the
Really?
which got all the publicity.
This is the Nikola Tesla of recoilless shotguns.
Kinda, yeah. It's Swedish. Boof. Oh, that's so good.
Dude, we can't play basketball anymore.
We'll find another one. It's fine. There's basketball.
The Lee Enfield first entered service in 1895, so Zach was slightly off on his dates. Dude, I'm not gonna bitch about that. I really am not. Yeah, you got a friend like Mike always keeping your arm toast. The short barrel carbine version was favored by the Bushveld Carbineers during the Second Boer War in South Africa. I'll just say it like this. There are just some guns that are just carried on in... They're just name just lives on in history. The Lee Enfield is one of them. It's just a good, solid gun. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe Rogan. If you read about the Boer War, it really shows you the technological difference and how people were... They just didn't know what to make of rifles, things like that. Yeah, like... Oh, that shotgun, it looks so jank, but it's so nice. Thank you, Joe Rogan. I hope the stomach bugs stop kicking you soon, because just like here in America, your bugs, especially your stomach bugs, are probably worse than mine at this point.
It's all over the place. It was designed in this
Look at that!
pre-World War I time when semi-automatic weapons were just weird.
Yeah.
Because like nobody knew what they were doing. There weren't any semi-automatic weapons to go off of.
It is.
So everything was just...
It looks so odd from a side angle. It just looks so odd. But at the same time, it's perfectly... I mean, look at that. It just looks like... The entire barrel assembly looks wrong to me because I'm just not used to seeing something like this.
People trying to figure it out.
Oh, alright.
The weird dome-shaped thing in the back.
Hey,
that's
Ronnie.
the whole bolt mechanism. And it's
Ronnie Connor's okay. He's just fine. He's in there eating right now.
just exposed. So when you load the shotgun, you actually pull that whole bolt mechanism back and let go of it.
Nice.
Isn't that susceptible to getting dirt in it?
Little bit.
I mean, yeah, but like nobody knew anything about semi-auto shotguns when these things were first invented.
So you like it more as a fascination, less than a really awesome gun.
Oh, it's really cool. Yeah, I'm fascinated with it. I think it's amazing. It's the way it's designed. The fact that inertial recoil was the first thing that they came up with on this shotgun. Not recoil operation, not straight blowback, which is like the simplest thing. It was inertial, this incredibly complicated firing mechanism. You know what else? Another shotgun that uses inertial recoil are basically Benelli's shotguns. Benelli is a very high-end shotgun company. They make very expensive, very well-made shotguns, and those are all inertial recoil operated.
Okay.
So
And it's something because the shotgun's one of the easiest weapons to really make. Like, it doesn't require a lot of rifling, doesn't require a lot of anything. You just have to... Yeah, it's a shotgun. It's not rocket science there. So a fancy shotgun, I'm all for seeing that.
the fact that the second semi-automatic shotgun, which was created in a vacuum outside of the Browning Auto 5 being invented.
Not in the vacuum of space, just isolated.
Yeah, isolated from the Browning Auto 5. They didn't know about the Browning Auto 5 when this was being created. Or maybe they did, but they didn't know like how it was going to work.
Jenner's over here talking about shooting a .25 in a shotgun, and then they start chanting to Korn. Makes sense. Makes sense. Drop .5 MB. Excellent Chattanooga Jenner.
The fact that inertial recoil is the first, that would be like if you were designing an airplane, you had never seen an airplane before, and the first airplane you built is a jet engine. The fact that this was the first thing that the Shogun company like came up with is just, it's just bonkers to me. I love it. It's so
The
cool.
chow chat wasn't bad,
The
according to
weird little
Gun
tab
Jesus.
on the back of the
Yeah.
shotgun, that's a safety.
You flip it to the left side, it's safe.
Up is safe, down is fire. I'm pretty sure. Chunk, 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 chunk.
That
It's very chunky, yes. It's a lot of movement on that one big piece.
I know.
Freaking cool. Oh man. I'm sorry to be just like constantly nerding out about this thing, but just the way this works, okay.
Yep, you're passionate about it.
Oh man, I'm pretty sure
It
that
just looks cool.
These two rails that the bolt is riding on, I'm pretty sure that those contain springs to help put the bolt back into battery. That's so interesting to me.
He's nerding out so hard on this.
Inertial recoil is their claim to fame.
That this was the first inertial recoil shotgun, and it was a second semi-auto. Also, another really cool thing about this shotgun, which I can't demonstrate for you right now because I'm not entirely sure how to do it, but this shotgun is a breakdown, which means this part here,
The middle part.
all rotates, unlocks, and comes apart, so you can basically put it into a small case or in a backpack.
Oh, it's compact.
The whole shotgun breaks down into 2 pieces.
What?
That's amazing. That's so cool.
That's pretty crazy.
There's so many sick features on this shotgun. If I had an unlimited supply of money,
Yeah.
if I had an unlimited supply of money, I would just remake shotguns like this. I would just remake old obsolete guns like this because of how incredibly interesting this gun is.
I ain't gonna
Like
lie.
Interesting
I ain't gonna lie. It's a pretty damn cool gun.
shotguns, but I mean, going back to the Pancord jackhammer, you have railed against it for a long time, but isn't it in itself an oddity?
I will
It is not. The Pancor jackhammer is not an oddity. It is an abomination.
admit that the Pancor jackhammer is an interesting thing, but the reason I dislike the Pancor jackhammer is because it isn't finished. It wasn't actually finished.
No.
Lee, that is the perfect example of what's been boiling in my brain for the past 10 minutes. Within talking about this, then they take a field gun and make it into a shotgun, because that's exactly what it looks like when it fires. And what chapter of Space Marines is my least favorite? Marines Malevolent.
Nothing went into service.
No, nothing ever went into service. There's like 3 prototypes that exist. It was never actually finished.
Why is that a deal breaker for you?
Because it's not a functional weapon. It'd be the same thing as saying like, oh, my favorite car is this one-off prototype that Ford built in 1978.
Well, why can't that be your favorite car? That's a lot. You're allowed to have favorites.
Right, fine, whatever. People are allowed to like it. It's just become a meme at this point, and it's gotten away, and I can't I can't say that like I actually don't care about the Pancor jackhammer that much because nobody will believe me.
I see.
Like I just don't care. It's
Okay.
like whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually annoy me when it's in things. It doesn't bother me that much. It's just an unfinished gun, and basically its big claim to fame is that the company that bought the remaining prototypes, they allowed video game developers to come in and take measurements of it and use it in video games. That's its big claim. That's how it ended up in so many video games, is that they basically rented it out to be used in movies and video games.
So
That's it.
So it's like, hey Zach, I have a Pancor jackhammer. Are you annoyed? No, I'm not. I've got a Pancor jackhammer. Are you annoyed? Are you annoyed? Well, yeah. Now I'm kind of annoyed.
Now I'm annoyed at you because you won't stop saying Pancor jackhammer. Yeah, it doesn't really bother me that much.
Gotcha. But the Sjogren.
The Sjogren inertial shotgun is made of sex.
And also the Sjogren inertial is a property of matter.
And that's why I'm so annoyed that you're using one as a melee implement.
Why not?
Because it's not meant to be a melee implement. It's meant to be a shotgun.
It's not functional. It's broken.
I could use the parts to repair this one.
Yes.
You make parts out of thin air at a workbench. You don't need mine.
Valid. All right, fine. You can use that one as a weapon. I'll just make another one of it. Oh, wait, hang on. There we go. No, I'm never going to run out of so.
Have your pick of the litter, I guess.
No, I'm never going to run out of these things.
They're all damaged. Everyone grab one.
Let's go to a workbench so I can do some tuning to this thing.
Let's find out. Let's go.
All right, so we're going to optimize the reload speed on this. We're going to, I can put a short barrel on it.
That's just silly.
Oh, yes. I'm going to hack the barrel down.
Oh my god.
Oh, not saw him stock off, though. I still need to stock. This isn't an entry gun, all right? Tube short or... Oh, you can do that. Oh my god. A 2-round magazine tube?
That seems silly.
I have to inspect this. We have
What?
a shoulder-mounted M2. This is busted. I appreciate...
That is asking that is asking for friendly fire. That is flat out asking for friendly fire. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Thank you, Joe Rogan. If you want something interesting to read about the Boer War, check out The Court Martial of Harry the Breaker Morat, and you'll wonder why I don't trust the British military or government. Joe, I trust no government. Just saying. Third barrel on a shotgun, that's a flashbang, yes. This is asking for you to lose control of this weapon. There's nothing about this that makes any sense to God or man. There is literally nothing about this that's going to work. This is just terrifying, okay? This is terrifying. I'll have to read up on that, Joe Rogan. Thank you.
I appreciate what they tried to do. What they tried to do kind of makes sense. I could see someone thinking that...
It looks like a grenade launcher and Empath had a baby and peed on it and then promptly got a divorce because the Empath thought that the RPG cheated on it. I mean, that's what this is. That's what this is, okay?
this would work, especially if you don't actually know about the inner workings of an M2.
You don't think it's going to work, though?
No, considering that the M2 with a barrel in it weighs about 80 pounds.
Aside from that, you give this to a super mutant, because they can carry it.
So here's here's some problem. The M2 isn't magazine fed. I suppose you could try to make a magazine for an M2. I don't think that would work. I'm almost positive it wouldn't actually work.
M2s are single shot only.
No, they're belt fed. Also, okay, I'm gonna be real nitpicky here. So it's missing the whole side plate that the charging handle attaches to. There's a massive side plate that goes on there that the charging handle attaches to that has like a coil spring that goes around the back of the charging handle, and that's how that functions.
Well, you said it was too heavy, so they removed that part.
The rear sight is wrong. It's not rounded like the rear sight normally would be. Also, it's very square. It's missing the internals for where the feed pawls would be on both the top and the bottom. The shell stop is missing from the inside on there.
Again, it's missing to save weight.
That
Stop.
is green. I don't know why. It's also missing the thing from the end of the barrel where it gets larger down there.
The thing at the end of the barrel where it gets larger.
Nice.
It's not a flash hider. It's basically the barrel is tapered, so it's slimmer in the middle, and then towards the end it gets larger. So it's basically, if you bump the muzzle into things, it doesn't damage it.
Right.
Oh. That's pretty much the only reason for having the end of the barrel be larger. Front sight is somewhat accurate. I don't have time to go into everything that this is missing, but it's missing a lot of stuff.
You know,
this is just asking for a problem.
You know what? There's more to this gun than there was to that AR you were using.
But somehow they made the trigger.
Tyler, this looks like your kind of gun. It's completely smashed together and refurbished, okay? This is actually horrifying to behold. I'm just saying.
Down here, and it's got like this massive winterized trigger guard that you pull with your whole hand.
If you have a glove on, yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand how they managed to connect all that stuff up to the back, because there's no connection on these things.
There's no way for you to even aim this thing.
Nothing connects down there. Also, another reason this doesn't work is because where the foregrip is on here, that's where the shell casings come out.
Oh.
So that doesn't work.
Well, now they eject out the right side. They've modified it.
No, it doesn't work like that because yeah, also, I don't know how I didn't realize this earlier. The barrel is in very much the wrong place. So the barrel should be further down. All right, let's see. Laser Garand. Okay, what the?
Yeah, it's gun that fires lasers.
M1 Garand ping.
Love it.
It's a laser weapon that does the M1 Garand ping.
360 no scope. Did you see that shit?
I did, yes.
I like how it put a hole through the can. You know, I was about to say I like how it put a hole through the can and didn't send the can flying, and then I remembered that's exactly what a laser would do.
True.
Yeah.
It would just put a hole through the can and then not send the can flying.
Right.
Because it's a laser.
Right.
You sure we're not gonna need that?
Yeah, no, I am gonna need it. I didn't mean to drop it. Didn't have a sling on it. It's 1064 nanometers, SHD, 818 PM. Beam divergence 250 PHG. That's got to be a reference to something, right?
Probably.
Uh-huh.
This is kind of interesting. I think, oh my god, I think it's funny that the capacitors are literally stuck on there with a band-aid. 10 shots of Funky Fusion, distorted, how, why, it's just worse. Wondrous lasers, 15 fires of fiery goodness. You'll never have to reload, 75 fire, well, you'll have to reload after 75 shots. 30 shots, your favorite thing? Lasers.
Heat from fire, fire from heat.
We'll put a heat shield on it, fuck it, why not? What? What even is this? This is stupid. Let's go find someone to shoot. Oh no. Oh no, it broke. That broke it. Putting the thing on it broke it. I need to put it back.
How's it broken?
There's no sights anymore.
Nice. Nice.
Wow. Why did she have a French 357 Magnum revolver?
She was a collector of many odds and ends.
So this, I think it's spelled and pronounced Maruhin. Maruhin.
Never heard of this gun.
Maruhin.
I
use a letter, Zach. So it's a 357 Magnum revolver that was used by, I think, the GIGN, which is the French counterterrorism force.
Okay. Gigan.
I forget what it stands for. It's French. They did a lot of custom work to them to make them have really smooth triggers. It's a really interesting revolver, honestly. It's a
nice looking revolver.
It is.
They're really cool.
It is. It looks
really
good.
like how chunky the sights are on these.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they got some really nice chunky adjustable sights, but from what I remember, they're just a very well-made, really good, really accurate revolver. And I find it kind of interesting that the GIGN was using revolvers as, like, a combat weapon. I don't remember when this was adopted. I'm sorry. I feel like it was adopted in the 80s.
Not an expert on the French revolvers, eh?
Not really. I'm not
Not your
recalling.
area of specialties.
Yeah.
Specialties,
I think it was
nice.
adopted in the 80s, but they used them for a long time. And honestly, I can understand why, because 357 Magnum hits like a frickin' truck.
Yes.
Especially when compared to like semi-automatic pistol calibers. You've got a lot of kinetic energy behind a 357 Magnum.
Okay.
When I look at this revolver, it reminds me a lot of Dan Wesson revolvers, specifically in how the cylinder opens from the frame.
You mean Smith & Wesson?
No, Dan Wesson, different company.
Oh.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, yay.
Manurine.
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 You speak more French than I do. How would you pronounce that?
Manurine.
But Dan Wesson makes really nice revolvers. Like, really good revolvers. They're very expensive. A while ago, Dan Wesson actually got bought by CZ, which is another gun company.
Okay.
And when
Okay.
CZ bought Dan Wesson, they basically went, you guys keep doing exactly what you're doing. We're not changing any of your company. Here's more money. Keep making revolvers the exact same way you've been making them.
Nice.
I wish video game companies were like that.
Yes.
The quality of the revolvers stayed exactly the same, if not improved, and they made more of them.
Very nice.
So it's a really neat thing, and actually recently, CZ bought Colt. So I'm kind of hoping that the same thing is going to happen to Colt, and it kind of has, because for some of the Colt revolvers, there was like the Colt Python and the Colt Anaconda, which were two of Colt's like best-selling revolvers. Their quality was kind of not great. When they got bought by CZ, the quality of the Colt Pythons and Anacondas when they released them was a lot better.
Nice.
So I feel like CZ may have done the exact same thing with Colt, where they basically rescued Colt from bankruptcy and went, yeah, just keep making these things. We're just going to give you money to make these things, but better.
Nice.
Do you ever worry that these companies that keep on buying up all the other companies are becoming a bit too monopolized?
Yes.
I would worry about it normally. But in the case of CZ, I don't really worry about it because CZ is not exactly like the biggest name in firearms. It's kind of a joke that I like to refer to CZ as the best kept secret of the firearms world because all of their guns are really good, but people just don't really get them as much as they get other guns.
Huh.
Like the CZ75 is an amazing semi-automatic handgun. But people don't really buy it because it's like a steel or aluminum frame.
Okay.
And they don't really think about it. They're just like, oh, I'll just get a Glock instead. This, we've got a oiled receiver. Okay. Damage and reload speed. Improved receiver. Okay, so I have the best one. 8-inch barrel, 3-inch barrel, 4, 5, 8, 10.
There you
I
go.
think one of the... there we go. So one of the versions of this...
Why would you put a bipod on a handgun?
legitimately came with a bipod, so you could use it as a close-range marksman gun.
Yeah.
This legitimately was something that they would do with it.
Well, all right.
They would put a scope on it and a bipod so that you could use it as a very close-range, very hard-hitting marksman gun.
Sniper revolver.
I know, isn't that crazy?
That's weird. See, 357, a lot of stopping power.
Yeah, it's got a lot of kinetic energy. That's why I carry a 357 Magnum revolver, because it makes me strong. It makes me feel like I don't have a tiny penis.
I carry a 357 because they don't make a 358.
Oh.
They do, actually. It's 358 SOCOM. It's a rifle caliber.
Shut up, you're messing with my colloquialisms.
It's a laser RCW. Remember this thing? Whoa!
Dude.
Laser RCW seems silly. Oh my god, if you're not gonna use that, I am gonna use that.
Heavy ooh. RCW barrel. Long
What?
barrel. Modern barrel. You can make it look like a pulse rifle from Aliens?
Do it.
Could you? Recoil
Do it.
suppression barrel?
Oh my god, there's so many cool barrels for this thing!
Hey, Galaxy Wad.
Yes, please. I want Aliens pulse rifle gun.
Okay.
Okay, I kind of like that stock, because that's the stock that would be on an Uzi,
That
but we're
looks
going to
so
put that on
good.
there just for giggles.
Okay.
That's a silly scope, so we won't use that. Medium rail sight, recon scope.
We need more color spray, huh?
Ugh.
Ooh, different paint jobs. Ooh, camo.
That's kind of fun.
Ooh, blue. Oh, red.
Ah.
The red mountain is nice.
Ooh, I like restoration.
Jeez.
Dude.
Yeah, this thing's kind of bonkers.
No
Look
recoil.
at how flat that shoots.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I love it.
The venerable Thompson submachine gun.
Yes, the Tommy.
You know how I know this is a military M1 Thompson?
How?
Because the charging handle isn't on the top of it. Charging handle's on the side, and it doesn't have the finned barrel. Or the cuts compensator on the front of it.
I see.
Those are things that were on the civilian version of the Thompson, not on the
Stop,
military
Hobbit.
version of the
Stop.
Thompson. They tried to make it cheaper for the military version.
Is it less effective because it's cheaper?
No,
They use cheaper parts, maybe?
Not
I wouldn't
really.
say that. The Thompson, though, was a very expensive submachine gun.
One of the most expensive submachine guns that we used during World War II.
It was a lot more
Chicago
expensive than like,
typewriter.
the grease gun or many of the other submachine guns from World War I. Thompson was way more expensive, primarily because it was made out of a lot of machined metal as opposed to stamped sheet steel.
Is that why it's called a machine gun? Because it's made out of machined metal?
It's
No.
called a machine gun because it runs like a machine does.
Oh.
It's called a submachine gun.
No,
because
Jenner,
it's
I
a
have no idea.
Caliber from a rifle caliber. Usually machine guns are in rifle caliber. Submachine guns are in a sub caliber, so like a pistol caliber.
Okay.
But recently the line of the
Oh god, I didn't mean to send you down this route.
recently the line has been blurred between what is a submachine
What the hell is he using over there? Looks like a barber shop.
gun and what isn't, because technically when the M4, well, the first version of the M4, so like the CAR 15 or the XM177, when those entered service, the U.S. Army considered those submachine guns. Even though they were still in a rifle caliber, it was just a very small rifle caliber.
Okay.
And then you also end up with things like the AKS-74U, which is also considered a submachine gun, even though it isn't. It's a rifle. It's just a very small rifle.
Okay.
Okay.
The Thompson is weird because there's actually two different ways you can put magazines into it. Stick magazines are just inserted directly through the bottom, like you would on any other magazine. Drum magazines go in through the side. It's not a bad submachine gun by any means, and the fact that it's got a relatively low firing rate with a 45 ACP means that it's pretty controllable. Thompson submachine guns during World War II were actually so expensive to make that during the beginning of World War II, when British soldiers would come back from missions with Thompson submachine guns, usually quartermasters would check to make sure they had all the Thompsons before they would check to make sure if everybody was there.
You
Nice.
and your encyclopedic knowledge of all this firearm stuff
That story might be apocryphal, but I mean, whatever.
doesn't stop you from repeating it.
It's still kind of
So we literally became Deathcore Krieg when it came to the Thompsons. Makes sense. Check out the M2 Hyde SMG. Is it terrifying? Galaxy Wide. Fans uploading this week? Bruh.
it's still kind of fun. They were very expensive. That's one of the reasons why things like the Sten gun and the Sterling and the Owen gun, that's why those other submachine guns became so prevalent, because they were cheap, easy to make, and you could knock them out in like 20 minutes. Whereas something like this would take craftsmen, not just a dude in a factory, they would take craftsmen hours to build just one. Because pieces had to be machined and hand-fitted and set up to be exactly the way they needed to be.
That's crazy.
You like this gun so much, why don't you just marry it?
I like submachine guns, man. Submachine
Yeah.
guns are like my weird point of interest. The militaries have tried using drum magazines for a very, very long time.
Just can't make it work, huh?
And almost every single time, it does not work properly. So the problem with these drum magazines is you have to take the whole drum magazine out and open it, and it's like a cake pan with a lid that hinges open.
Yeah.
You have to then stack all of the rounds in there, close it, and then use this winder on the front to build up spring pressure.
So not great in the middle of combat.
No, this is the kind of thing that you would load before combat, and then you would just never reload it during combat
Right.
unless shit gets real bad. So the problem you run into is things like you have build up enough spring tension in it for it to run, and if you haven't built up enough spring tension, it's going to stop feeding.
That's an issue.
Also, if one of the feed lips gets bent, all your rounds are going to and just go flying out of the magazine. It's going to launch all the rounds out of the magazine.
You
Nice.
might die in combat, but that'll be a pretty fun thing. A little celebration.
Yeah, a little celebration, like little fireworks going off. The other problem is, look at how big this magazine is. All the rounds are on the outside of the magazine, and you have this big, heavy mechanism on the middle.
A mechanism that's supposed to push the bullets out toward the edge of the drum. So you've got a giant heavy mechanism that's not a. It's just taking up space.
It's
Yeah.
just taking up space. So basically, you can have a 50-round magazine, or you can carry 12 stick magazines that hold 30 rounds each.
That's significantly more bullets.
And then the other thing is, during World War II, they had rationing going on, so it's not like they can just keep making these expensive things that require a lot of steel and metal to make a drum magazine when you could just take a piece of sheet metal, stamp it into a box, and shove a spring and a follower into it.
Why not?
Box magazines, easier to make.
They're easier to make, they're cheaper, they're gonna work better. If you have a stick magazine, you get 10 rounds into it and it breaks, throw it away, grab another stick mag.
True.
If you're only using drum magazines, you don't have to throw away that whole drum magazine and try to use something else.
Yeah, because you can't reload it in the middle of battle.
Yeah. Also, just for the record, the receiver is reversed. That charging handle would normally be on the other side, and the ejection port would be on the other side.
Nice.
Because Fallout 4 takes place in a mirror universe.
Yeah.
Spray and pray, that's broken as hell.
That's hilarious, I'm just saying. He said it's coming out this week at the bottom of the post. I did see that. I did not think it was coming out this week, though. The gun that Mike is using is a modded version of the alien pistol from the game. Nice. Switching to second rare, yes. AMAC minigun. Jenner. I'm still waiting on the railgun, just to be honest with you.
Oh, is it?
Bullets explode on impact.
Holy shit!
Oh, do you not know about that? Spray?
That is
Yeah.
broken.
That's God tier weapon right there. Try it out in combat.
Oh shit! You have a Mark 23?
Try that out in combat too.
Okay, well, we're buying like 2 different things today. Oh my
3.
god! Someone changed the assault rifle. It's substantially better now. This is still based off of an M249, but it looks like it's got an M249 heat shield. Definitely has the M249 pistol grip and the M249 stock.
And it's got the drum magazine you love so much.
There you go.
I don't hate drum magazines, but I'm definitely not a huge fan of them. It's interesting because the M249 can actually feed from a magazine as opposed to a belt, but the magazine feed ability on an M249 is dubious at best.
Dubious.
In my personal experience, it doesn't really work great. It's basically for emergency situations only where you just straight up don't have any more belts and you need to get ammo out through the machine gun, but it always caused problems for me. I like this a lot better than the base game assault rifle. Okay, I am noticing a kind of weird thing though.
Safety select lever.
There's a safety select lever there, but then there's also a crossbolt safety like there would be on the actual M249 or M240 Bravo, but it doesn't stick out on the other side.
All right, Sean.
Gotta be double
I'll see you,
safe.
bud.
It only goes in, it only comes out. And why would you print Made in USA on the inside of the dust cover? That seems a little strange too.
Yeah.
I like this a lot better because it's based on one gun as opposed to like 6 guns that they mashed together that would have.
Him sitting there ranting about the assault rifle in the last episode was absolutely hilarious.
Absolutely no reason to be stuck together. It's still a
Well,
little
Camper,
too wide,
it's good.
but I like that it's called a machine gun now instead of an assault rifle.
Okay.
Because the base game assault rifle is not an assault rifle. That is like a light machine gun.
Gotcha.
So this looks a lot better, and that is 100% a pistol grip and a trigger guard from an M249. That is a stock from an M249. That's a handguard from an M249. The heat shield is reminiscent of like an M60 or an M249. That optic is weird. I don't particularly care for the optic, but
Excellent Chattanooga Joe Rogan.
what are you gonna do?
So when you push that safety button in,
You're not gonna be able to unengage the safety.
it probably disengages when you. Let's do what's inevitable and head back to base so
Not right now. We gotta get in Vault 81 first.
We'll touch the door and we'll walk away. We'll
Yeah,
be
there you
back
go.
in a minute.
Also, we just found this thing.
The
Oh hell yes!
SOCOM.
It's a frickin' Mark 23 SOCOM. You
Nice.
have no idea how badly I want one of these.
You gotta put a flashlight on the front of it, otherwise it doesn't have the
It
distinct
does.
shape.
It needs a laser aiming module. It needs
Do
a
it.
laser aiming module. God, I love this gun. So this is actually like the precursor to the H&K USP. And they made this pistol for US SOCOM in like the 90s, I think. It was part of the quote offensive weapons program.
Okay.
Which was, let's give someone who maybe doesn't need a rifle, let's give them a handgun that is suppressible, very accurate, and capable of being their primary weapon.
Give him a handgun that can do some damage.
It's really big. Like, this is as big as a Desert Eagle.
But you hate Desert Eagles, but you like this.
No, I don't hate Desert Eagles. I just think a Desert Eagle's kind of pointless. To be fair, I kind of think this is pointless too.
Okay.
I love this gun, but I think it's kind of pointless.
I love this one, but you don't care so much for the Deagle.
Because the Deagle is just ostentatious. At least this was created for a purpose other than just being big gun. Yeah. This was made in 45. That was one of SOCOM's requirements, that this pistol had to be made in 45.
Why was that a requirement?
Because they wanted a cartridge with a lot of kinetic energy behind it.
Don't you use our gun to fire a 9mm. It's gonna shame our gun.
Yeah. Also, 45 is easier to suppress than 9mm.
Oh!
Oh, I did not know that.
45 is inherently subsonic. Most 45 ammo is right at or below breaking the speed of sound. So 45 is easier to suppress.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
No, this tactical stock doesn't. That's a tactical.
That
that's
looks
a folding stock
fucking
for a
stupid.
Beretta 93R. Why did? How
Close
did they?
enough.
How did they put it on the?
That looks fucking stupid. I will never forgive who made that.
No, I'm not putting that on there.
They say a death clock can run 30 miles an hour. That's why we should build this settlement 31 miles away. Don't worry.
That was dumb.
I did the math.
You're a genius.
That's a Streamlight TLR1, and that wouldn't attach the way it's attached there. That would actually go on there.
That was pretty cool.
Oh, hey, Mark 23 suppressor. Hell yeah.
Okay.
That's
There you
made by
go.
Knight's Armament.
You definitely say it. There you go.
There we go. The laser aiming module with muzzle brake, laser. Oh, why can't I do laser aiming module with suppressor?
You need another level of sneak.
I need what?
No.
Yes.
No, we're just giving myself that.
No.
We're just giving myself that. You got the SAS, SOCOM. I don't know which one that is. Fox, Foxhound.
Oh yeah.
Military Sans Frontiers, Diamond Dogs,
Outer Heaven.
Outer Heaven, Peace Walker. So Peace Walker. Oh, the exclamation
Yes.
point. Asshole. It's it's Huey. Fuck you, Huey. The Suffering of Kaz. Meat. I don't know what meat is.
Can't really see.
I don't know who that is.
Vignette.
No.
Oh yeah. Oh baby, this thing is huge. Look at the size of this gun.
I see it. It's large. It's in charge.
Oh!
God, even with the suppressor, it still sounds chunky.
That thing sounds... That thing sounds thick. A deagle was made to kill the mind and soul in one go. That way you don't need a Glock for the body. A 45 ACP to kill the soul. Dude, a deagle, even with when the deagle fires off in combat, even your guardian angels duck. Okay.
Damn, oh God, I'm gonna have so much fun with this pistol. Spray and pray. That is definitely a Thompson. Can I change the?
It's a Thompson, but man, if you've never used this thing before,
He's gonna have fun.
Yeah, I've never really used this, so we'll
You should. You shouldn't, because it's gonna break the game balance.
Yeah, but you
it's
should.
there for anyone to use.
But you
Yeah,
should.
alright. Yep, that's got a bottle on the end of
The
it.
spray and pray has like a Nuka-Cola bottle silencer suppressor. Well, that's just silly.
That
It
That
is.
is very silly.
At least it's translucent so you can see through your shooting at.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna take that off. No, I think it is. Yep, it is.
It is
Yeah, they just-
so
This
busted.
gun trivializes this game.
It's
it
so
does.
busted.
I thought the Halo weapons we found earlier were overpowered, but this
What
is
is the dumb
ridiculous.
firearm
It's a
attachment, Jenner?
guaranteed spawn too.
She just has it. She just has it on her. I never bought it from her.
So you never knew how overpowered it
Yeah,
was.
she just has it. What the
Yup.
This weapon and Overseer's Guardian are just overpowered.
Yes.
So we have this P2000, and I was like, oh man, I really want to get a P2000. I went to one of my coworkers. I was like, yeah, tell me why I shouldn't get this one. And they're like, you're asking the wrong person, man. We only make bad decisions here. I was like, okay, fair enough. And I was talking to them about it, and they're like, oh, I can tell you why you shouldn't get one. Because we have 2 HK Mark 23s coming in. And I'm like, oh, God, don't tell me that. They're like, yep, we got 2 of them. 2 of them coming in.
You're gonna have your pick of the litter.
And they're
Nice.
not even for a special order.
So you
It's
can
like,
buy them.
Every single time we've had one come in recently, it's been for a special order. Like, it's been for someone that ordered one.
But they just had some you could take.
He's had some coming in, and I'm just like, oh, God, you shouldn't have told me that. How much?
Minigun with the explosive shots is just illegal, Hobbit. I got one. I actually got one with that. It's just illegal.
Hey, how much is the Mark 23?
Oh, so you want to play
And they
with
said
me?
$5.
Alright.
It's like $2,000. Cost for a Mark 23. They sell for like $3 grand. They are not cheap handguns. And I'm just like, oh, God.
That's a good deal, I guess.
Oh, God, I want one really bad, but that's a lot of money. if I get one, can I just put it on layaway and pay it off slowly? And they're like, yeah, that's fine. You can do that. I put a gun up on consignment. I was trying to sell it. I go out to fill out the paperwork to put in a special order for one. As I'm filling out the paperwork, someone comes in and they're like, hey, I want to get that gun. The one that you have on consignment. I'm just like, oh, excellent. My gun's sold for like $1,800.
Oh.
I basically have one on order. As soon as it comes in, I only owe like $400 left on it. So
Nice.
I'm just like, how did this work out? How did this happen?
I feel like I've made this comparison before, but you guys are like a conga line of hermit crabs passing down one shell.
Oh, and then to add even further coincidence to it, I currently have a 9mm suppressor that's made by Silencer Co. It's the Silencer Co. Omega 9K. I love that suppressor. It works really great. One of the reasons I bought it is because Silencer Co. was running a deal that if you spent over a certain amount on a suppressor, you submit the receipt to them and the paperwork saying that you bought the suppressor, and they send you another one for free.
Okay.
A BOGO suppressor from Silencer Co. That sounds like Fallout.
They say it's a cheaper suppressor. It's not like the best, but it's a decent one. Mm-hmm. So when I bought the Omega 9K, I submitted that, and then I got a 45 suppressor.
Dude!
Okay. I was like, I don't have a 45 caliber suppressor ready gun at the moment, but at some point in the future I could have one. And like worst case scenario is I could shoot 9mm through the 45 suppressor. It's fine.
Okay.
So I already have a suppressor for the Mark 23 SOCOM. So I'm gonna have a Mark 23 SOCOM with a suppressor on it.
Nice.
Like, as soon as it comes in.
You seem to be happy about that.
I can't believe this happened. I'm so tickled about it. I can't even tell you how happy I am about getting a Mark 23. It legitimately is.
You can't even tell me. You can't even tell me after telling me for half an hour.
Yeah, just the fact that I've talked about it for this long should be indicative. I have wanted a Mark 23 SOCOM since I played Metal Gear Solid.
Damn.
I've wanted one, so it is legitimately, it's what I call one of my grail guns. It's
okay.
a holy grail. It's like, I've wanted one for years, and it's just, I don't have the money to get one when I see one, or when I have the money to get one, there's none available.
All right.
It's polygonally bored barrel. Did you know that?
I didn't.
Yeah, that means if you look at the rifling in a barrel, you'll notice that the rifling is usually cut at 90-degree angles. Mm-hmm. On this one, if you look down it, you notice you can't see clearly defined rifling. It's actually little tiny curved hills. The advantage of that is that it increases accuracy, it increases muzzle velocity. The disadvantage is it's harder to do. Mm-hmm. Also, I think this one is a chrome-lined barrel too, which makes it easier to clean and it gives it better longevity.
Nice.
Okay, I'll take your word on that.
Yeah. This gun is so cool. I freaking love this gun. Let's inspect. Wow, that looks like crap.
It's like a little pipe gun.
Yeah.
It's a kit bash.
It looks kind of like a version of the Wellrod pistol. The Wellrod pistol was a pistol that was designed in World War II, and it's basically a single-shot bolt-action pistol. The grip for the Wellrod pistol is quite literally the magazine.
Uh-huh.
You hold on to the magazine, and this on the back, you rotate it, pull it backwards, push it forwards, and rotate it again. The entire barrel of the Wellrod pistol is a suppressor. So it's an integrally suppressed, effectively an assassination gun.
Nice.
Okay.
It was intended for very, very close use, getting basically the quietest gun humanly possible.
I can't imagine that being used in combat.
The reason it's called the Well Rod is because well is the first part of the lab that it was created at.
And not because the gun works well.
And rod is the colloquial name for it because it was basically just a tube.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And it was something that you could hide very easily.
Yeah, and if anyone asks, you say it's your EpiPen.
Unlike most modern suppressors, which use a bunch of cones, the Wellrod, if I recall correctly, did use baffles, but it also used basically a bunch of wire, like a wire screen wrapped around itself a bunch of times.
Okay.
So you end up with a ton of voids that just soak up the explosion.
And collect dirt and carbon you gotta clean.
The Wellrod wasn't intended for long use. It was honestly meant to be used until it wasn't good anymore, and then you throw it away.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It was very disposable. Like, they didn't really even put any identifying marks on it. Like, maybe they had a serial number on there. Mm-hmm. But they didn't have any identifying marks for plausible deniability.
Nice.
That way, if you get caught behind enemy lines with this thing, they can't be like, oh, this guy was a British spy. It's like...
It seems like you could get better gear if that was your mission.
True.
Well, this was made in the 1940s.
Okay.
This was kind of like the pinnacle of super sneaky small arms technology.
Where are
Sneaky
they
breaky.
circulating still then?
Well, now there's modern versions of the like there's one that's the B&T Station 6, which is actually named after the place that designed the first well rod pistol, that uses a much better suppressor. And, like, people could make adaptations of the well rod. Anyway, I got off on a whole fucking tangent here. The whole top of this gun reminds me of the well rod. Now,
That's all you wanted to say, is
that's all
it?
I wanted to say. And the front of this looks like the rad rifle from in-game.
Okay.
I don't know what the front sight is. The rear sight is from the submachine gun. I don't know what that knob is. Oh,
It almost looks like like the whole barrel assembly almost looks like a grease gun. I'm just saying.
no, the knob is from one of the optics. The knob is from one of the optics.
Okay.
The grip is the comfort grip for the 10mm pistol. The magazine is from the deliverer, which is taken from a Walther PPK.
Okay.
And then this magazine is taken from the 10mm pistol. It's like the extended mag for the 10mm pistol.
Nice.
So basically, yeah, everything on this is a hodgepodge of guns or assets that already exist in the base game.
Kit bash.
The definition of a kit bash.
Yeah. It says it's an auto pistol, so let's see. Yeah, it's full auto.
Dang. Wouldn't have assumed it to have the mechanisms for that.
Yeah.
All right, well, there you go.
That's interesting that they kind of just slapped all that together. What was the other one I found? Oh, the Marksman's armor-piercing bolt-action shotgun?
Bolt-action shotgun.
Okay, so it's the bolt-action rifle. The wood handguard at the front is from the side-by-side shotgun. Right where the wood handguard ends to right where the trigger begins, I'm pretty sure is from the radium rifle. I think the magazine is from the actual bolt-action rifle. I don't know what the trigger is from. Maybe the hunting shotgun. And then the stock is, again, from the radium rifle. But there's this little lever that is right behind it that's from the side-by-side that I think they repurposed it to be the safety lever. And then, yeah, the scope is from the hunting rifle.
Yeah, it's a shotgun
So, yeah, okay, it's a shotgun.
Oh my god.
with a scope on it.
Yeah.
I can't really see that being all that useful.
Neither can I.
If it was a rifled barrel and you were shooting slugs, then you would put a scope on it. I mean, there's a lot of people that put scopes on their hunting rifles, but it's really only when they're shooting, like, slugs only. They're using it as, like, a deer hunting gun.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I think the Lurker auto pistol would be cooler if it wasn't full auto. It'd be really cool if it was actually bolt action. That'd be pretty neat.
It would not be cool if it was a bolt action. Can you imagine a bolt action pistol? That would be the dumbest thing I've ever seen before in my life.
They basically just turned it into a well rod pistol. I think that'd be pretty cool.
All right. Oh yeah, we're modifying the Lurker auto pistol
God.
now.
Well, I mean, we can. I don't think we have.
Adding a drum magazine to the Lurker auto pistol.
No. Put a red dot sight on it.
Look at those scopes.
They're only held on with one scope ring. Yeah, I'm
This
not
is
worried
bad.
about zero. Why would I be? Put a large suppressor on
Why
there.
would it need a suppressor? You say it's integrally suppressed.
Well, the well rod pistol is. This isn't.
Put a larger suppressor on it so it's twice as long.
There we go.
Do
Put
it.
that on there.
Come on. Look at
make
the
it-
goofiness.
Do it.
Turn it into semi-automatic only. You can put different barrels on it, including a suppressed one, which is kind of funny. Can I put... Yes! We can put the PEC 15 on the top rail. Don't put any... Ew! Ew! Why are you putting covers on the top of the rail? You're not putting your hand up there. Why is this an A2 length stock, but it doesn't have the A2 trapdoor on the back of it?
What?
I like how all I can see is the back of my fucking PEC 15.
Gotta be real crazy or real tough.
This is the problem with a PEC 15, mounting a PEC 15, is like,
I'm
that's the
done.
best way to mount a PEC 15 is top mounting it, but then all you see is back of PEC.
True, Worlds.
Oh well. At the end of the barrel, it looks like nostrils, like your gun's a crocodile.
I know, right?
The PEC 15 looks like nostrils.
It does.
See it.
Your gun is a crocodile, the barrel is the snout, the PEC 15 are the nostrils that protrude upward.
I'm not seeing it. All I can see is that it's an incorrect PEC 15. I'm just like, no, it's too smushed together. It's smushed laterally.
All crocodiles are different and beautiful.
Oh, it's a Walther PPK.
Yay.
It's a suppressor. Except, ooh, no, this is wrong. Yeah, it's wrong. It's in 10mm, which is no. The Walther PPK is not in 10mm.
There's a bolt action needle fire pistol. What is even that?
The Walther PPK is in 380.
Thank you, Alan, but what the hell is even that?
You're not gonna find very many guns that use that ammo type.
It's in a tiny, tiny bullet.
What kind of gun?
God help you if someone made a Walther PPK in 10mm and then you tried to shoot it. It would hurt so bad. I feel like shooting a Walther PPK in 10mm would be a little uncomfy on the webbing of your hand because the Walther PPK is a fixed barrel pistol. The barrel doesn't move. Oh shit.
Hooray.
Oh shit, son.
Is
Nice.
that how you fire a grenade out of that thing? I guess it makes sense that you'd have to arc it like...
Jenner, I don't even want to consider that. I don't even want to consider the consequences of a handgun chamber in .95.
that.
Hey, Captain.
You really gotta
compensate.
compensate.
It's weird that you don't actually use the sight.
Look, that's the aiming mechanism, is it?
Yeah, that's how I aim. I don't know if you want your point man to have an M203 and I wish a motherfucker would at it. Maybe give him a shotgun instead of a 203, you know? I'm just saying.
That works.
You're dead.
Crippled
That arm ain't looking
Nice
so hot.
follow-up.
Oh my god,
That worked.
that hurts so bad.
Look at all the health you don't have.
Holy
Lovely.
shit, that hurts so bad. Okay.
Good job, point man.
Before the M16 officially entered service, back when it was still just like an AR-15, they issued it to a bunch of super sneaky cool guys, like super sneaky special forces dudes in the military.
Yeah.
And they were using it in Vietnam and like Laos. They're doing like combat trials with the early AR-15s, back before it was even an M16.
Back when it was just an M15.
Back when it was
Wasn't even legal yet. Couldn't even vote.
Back when it was
Oh my God.
standard like AR-15 or I think like the Colt 633 or maybe 730. I can't remember. I'm not great at remembering the Colt model numbers.
Me
Anyway.
neither.
So they issued M16s to Mac V SOG and like super sneaky guys back during the early days before it was the Vietnam War because they wanted to see how this super high velocity sub-caliber rifle would do. They took photos of the combat injuries that it was inflicting. Those photos remained classified until like the year 2000.
Oh.
They were like, oh shit, these bullets fucking blow up when they hit things. Because that is what happens when you propel a 55 grain projectile down a 20-inch barrel. It gets going to like 3,000 some odd feet per second. The bullet disintegrates when it hits something.
You keep on talking about grain. I've never heard that describing bullets before.
It's a unit of measurement for bullets.
Is having more grain a good thing for a bullet?
Not necessarily. It just means that the bullet is heavier.
Okay.
Is it like overpressured ammo if you put more grains in it?
No, actually, if you put a heavier bullet in it, it'll go slower.
Oh, so okay.
There is another measurement for gunpowder, which is grains of
Oh my
gunpowder. But
God,
I don't know
Alan.
what is typical for that because I've never loaded my own ammunition. I don't know how many grains of gunpowder are in a standard 5.56 cartridge.
Are there different types
I'm
of
sorry,
grain?
Captain.
Most people use wheat for their ammo. I prefer to have
Why does he say these things? It make me question everything. Why? Why does he say these things? Imagine a single-shot bolt-action weapon that instead of metallic cartridge, it uses a paper cartridge with a priming disc and a needle for the striker. Okay.
Generally rye is what I prefer. You know, I know you were harping on like there's so many different calibers, but like when you start getting into not only are there different calibers, but there's different bullet weights for every single caliber as well. It's a
What?
C93.
What the hell is that?
It's a very odd-looking gun.
It looks so odd because it's the first mass-produced semi-automatic pistol ever.
Why does it have a rounded end? Were they afraid that the consumer would hurt themselves if the gun had a...
This gun is toggle lock, which means that it has the same action as a Luger, where this part is hinged. So when this gun fires, that whole action goes whoop and tips up like this. This big snail-looking thing on the back of it is the mainspring, where that is where the spring is that actually pushes the bolt forward and keeps it locked into battery. The Borchardt C93 is really cool. It's one of those guns. Oh god, it's so good. I love how like the trigger is offset to one side. Ugh. Oh, it's so cool. It's just weird. It's such a weird. It's goofy because it's the first semi-automatic handgun.
Oh,
Like
okay.
if I had picked out this weapon and given it to you, you would have told me it's too goofy and hated it.
Oh, if you'd picked it out and given it to me, I would have been. Oh.
He's sleeping.
Okay.
He's sleeping.
So you'll notice when I'm shooting it, you can see the bolt actually go boop and pop up on every shot.
Oh.
One side heavier than the other, or are you just holding it sideways to look cool?
I don't know why.
Sideways to look cool. Got it.
Freaking iguana?
So much wildlife out here.
Well, hey, that's where the iguana bits come from. Okay, now he like stands. Oh, what do you mean? That's where the iguana bits come from? He says, standing up, putting his hands on his hips.
Give me back my bits.
The Luger took a lot of its lineage from the C93, specifically in the toggle lock. But technically speaking, if I recall correctly, the toggle lock mechanism from this is basically stolen from a Maxim machine gun.
Okay. How much ammo can it hold?
If I recall correctly, I think it's like a 9-round magazine.
Because I don't really see a place to put a magazine in.
No, it's that little wood block at the bottom.
What?
Yes, the magazine base plate is made of wood. That ring on the side of it
Okay.
is, if I recall correctly, a lanyard ring. You can attach a stock to this gun.
And some keys.
It's-
Mike, why? Why?
So you can see it pop up every time I shoot it.
Pew, 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 pew. As long as you're having fun, you know?
There were some militaries that used this gun for a very
That
short
is
period of time.
so
Not very long.
That just looks so stupid. Okay? A drum-fed mag on a handgun looks dumber than anything. It's so stupid looking.
And it did actually see service in World War I.
Hey.
Put on the drum magazine.
Yeah, sure, why not? We'll put
The dumb suppressor. I want this thing to be goofy as all hell.
Oh, I don't
Go
like
for
that.
Oh, a reflex sight. Yes, that's part of the goofiness.
Do it.
Why am I putting a PWS compensator? No. Nope. So now we have a very goofy pistol that apparently is also automatic.
I love it.
It's a little,
Well,
Oh my
gun too.
god.
it's a little unwieldy.
Little bit.
It's a little unwieldy, and I kind of hate what this has become.
You gotta put the suppressor on it so no one knows what you're doing.
Do it. Put the suppressor on the damn thing. Why not?
Curiosity. I'm pretty sure nobody ever made a suppressed version of a C93.
A suppressed automatic drum.
This is
tread.
awful.
Fully automatic, drum mag fed.
His hand is coming apart.
I don't know why. It gives me joy.
This is very, very silly. All right, well, we're gonna try this. This is incredibly dumb.
I love it.
Go for it.
So yeah, this gun is in kind of a weird caliber. It's in 7.65 by 25 Borchardt.
Oh boy, new caliber.
Luger, the guy that invented the Luger handgun, was actually the assistant of Borchardt.
Oh.
And Luger was like, yes, I helped influence the design, which I also kind of feel like maybe he didn't help influence the
Okay.
design. Maybe he just saw it and went, yeah, I like that, I'm taking it.
Possibly. But it's an interesting bit of gun history nonetheless.
Yeah.
Forget a complimentary. Forget the wrist brace, Jedi. You're gonna need a new arm. That thing's gonna tear your arm off.
The U.S. Navy actually tested this gun as a possible new standard issue service pistol.
But never settled on it.
No, they never went with it because the grip is, as you can tell, basically vertical, which is kind of awkward to hold on to.
It did seem like that.
And has surprisingly high recoil, reportedly.
So we've seen.
Well, they're not normally full auto, so.
Oh yeah.
Normally.
You can probably juggle that thing with the bullets. just don't compensate for recoil. Just juggle it in
This
the
is
air.
ridiculous.
Oh man, I really thought maybe I could hit it for a
Yeah.
second.
Hey, Zinch.
Actually got like the engraving on. Dang! You did a good job, man! Oh my god, when I point it up like that, You can actually see. So this is this reflex sight. While it never would have been on this gun, ever, you can actually see the little circle that is reflecting off of a prism, which is then projected forwards onto the lens.
Nice.
Man, this is a cool-looking gun model.
I'm glad we both like it.
Nice.
Whoa.
It's as close as you can get.
I can do like a weird faux X-ray thing.
Yeah.
Oh, look, you can actually see the bottlenecked cartridge in there. Oh, that's neat. It's one of the things that I really like about early firearms design is it's a lot of throwing shit at the wall until something sticks.
And people eventually realize that toggle lock ain't the best.
No, it's
Because
really
it's full auto,
complicated.
Zinch.
You have to get measurements exactly right for like different things in terms of like the friction of parts meshing against each other and spring weights and stuff like that. To the point that
This
if you
is
have a
so
toggle lock
ridiculous.
gun and the spring starts wearing out on it, it won't function the way it's supposed to anymore. Granted, that's true for basically any semi-automatic pistol, so never mind. I'm talking out my ass.
Is that a chicken? Is his mod list is crazy? Okay.
Early firearms design is a lot of just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what works.
Right.
And that's really interesting to me. It's why I like the inertial recoil system. It's just such an odd thing to come up with first. It's the same thing with toggle lock. It's like, this is what you came up with first? Is this overly complicated thing? The Thompson submachine gun initially used this recoil principle known as Blish lock. And Blish lock is based on the principle of dissimilar metals having different friction coefficients. Turns out that Blitzlock was complete bullshit, and none of it actually worked. It was just the fact that it was a real heavy bolt, and the guy had accidentally invented blowback.
Oh.
But it's really funny to me that he came out, he's like, yes, it's called Blitzlock, and it doesn't actually do anything. I love that about early firearms design. It just absolutely tickles me.
I discovered Blitzlock while eating my goulash.
Yeah, it just absolutely tickles me. These like weird design principles that people come up with for early firearms design, and a lot of it is just like, it's just goofy. It's just goofy. Toggle lock had a good run going for a while. There were a lot of people trying to do toggle lock. John Pedersen made a semi-auto rifle that was in the U.S. Army. Well,
Okay.
It wasn't actually in the U.S. Army. Whatever. I'm not going to get into it. John Pedersen.
This is the same guy who says he doesn't know a lot about guns. This is the same guy.
Designed a semi-automatic rifle for the U.S. military that they never ended up adopting. That was a toggle lock gun.
Okay.
And it's I just love the complexity of it. It's so cool to me. I know for a fact that there's people that are like, I love the rotary engine on cars. I'd never buy one, but I love them.
They're fascinating quirks of history.
They're really cool. That's actually kind of a fun comparison. You know what? I'm gonna coin that one right now. Toggle lock is the rotary engine of firearms.
Okay.
You used to collect a lot of archaic technology. I guess you still do. Yeah, you had rotary phones and you got the vinyl records and stuff like that.
I still have a rotary phone.
I got rid of my last rotary phone a long time ago. Like, rotary phones were... I can't believe I still know how to use one of those. It's so crazy.
Sold my record player because I've moved on to cassettes. I took the actual design history from the whole media, and I was like, records are old hat. It's all about cassettes now.
Hell yeah, Jenner.
Buy CDs in preparation for 7 years from now.
Yes, exactly.
It's like it's your gift.
I love obsolete technology. It's super fun.
That's why we got Curie here.
Yep. I like my women the way I like my guns. French and obsolete. I still really want... Alright, what the... I know I'm not a tank nerd. I mean, I like tanks. Don't get me wrong. I like tanks. And I know sometimes I get tank stuff wrong. But what the...
Oh, wow. Look
Why?
At this
Why?
Barrel.
What is with this? What's with the 4-track design? And it's like they're overlapping, but they're interfering with each other.
It's very strange.
Oh my god.
I was promised a gun rant, not a tank rant.
Realize there's not even a drive sprocket on this thing. How do the tracks move? There's no drive sprocket. It's all road wheels and tensioners.
Are you sure you're not a tank nerd? You sound like a tank nerd.
I'm kind of a tank nerd. I just don't remember a lot of the... Tanks are not my special interest like guns are. Tanks are a thing that's like a passing interest that comes and goes. But like, one of the things I know is that you need a drive sprocket to make the tank move, and there ain't one on this. Also, how is this happening? Right here, what I'm looking at, where the muzzle of my gun is pointing.
Yeah.
Where the muzzle of my gun is pointing. How is this track doing this without a wheel to go around?
Good question.
In the military, we had a thing called PFM, okay? If incidents like this, we called PFM, all right? So PFM is a very, very specific term in the military that is generally used for things that work, and we don't have an explanation why. And PFM stands for pure fucking magic.
Man, this is a hot mess.
Hey,
Those
Guardian.
wheels are rubbing against each other. Who designed this tank? Was it designed for the Elbonian military?
There's a reason why it's not in use right now.
Oh my god, this thing is a mess.
Maybe it's
Todd Howard, it just works.
the Pancore jackhammer of tanks. It's, it's a
maybe.
non-functioning prototype that never made it out into service.
Oh my god, this is a hot mess of tank design.
This sucks.
Like, how are you even reloading these guns?
Very carefully.
There's not enough room. There's not enough room in there for 2 breaches. How are you even doing? All right, whatever. It's fine. You know what? There's a reason that it's sitting here. Oh, you know what I just thought of?
What was that?
Oh, this might be like a Killdozer situation.
Built it out of his
Yeah,
spare parts.
you might have had a Marvin Heemeyer back here, like, building this thing because he was pissed off that they blocked his driveway.
Yes.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that always kind of drove me
Beware the Killdozer.
nuts about the M249 is the manual of arms for an M249 is you open the feed tray cover, pull the charging handle back, which locks the bolt to the rear, push the charging handle forward, because the M249 fires from an open bolt. It helps the machine gun cool faster, and it's usually good for machine guns to fire from an open bolt. Anyway,
yeah.
the manual of arms is you pull the charging handle back, push the charging handle forward, your bolt is now locked to the rear. Lift the feed tray cover, plug the rounds on the feed tray cover, close the feed tray cover, and now you're ready to go. When you clear an M249, what they want you to do is pull the charging handle back, push it forward, make sure that there's no rounds in the barrel or on the feed tray cover or inside the receiver, close the feed tray cover, and then put the weapon on safe.
Makes sense.
I always argued that what you should do is...
Fire all the bullets.
No. I always argued that
Do
what you
it.
should do is... The clearing procedure is open the feed tray cover, remove the rounds from the feed tray, lift the feed tray up, make sure there's not a round in the barrel, close the feed tray cover, ride the bolt forward, so like pull the trigger and let the bolt go all the way forward. You have now made sure that there's not a round in the gun. Let the bolt go all the way forward and then leave the weapon on fire, because with a 249, I don't think you can engage this. If I recall correctly, you cannot engage the safety on a 249 if the bolt is all the way forward. The reason
Jenner, come on, man. Oh my god.
I argued for doing that is because if the bolt is all the way forward, even if you open the feed tray cover and put live ammunition on the feed tray cover, there is absolutely no way that ammo can go off unless you grab the charging handle, pull it all the way back, push the charging handle forward, and pull the trigger.
It's weird that it doesn't let you engage the safety when the bolt's forward.
Well, because normally, if you were firing the machine gun and the bolt is all the way forward, it is currently firing a round, and the bolt is about to kick backwards. So there would be no reason for you to engage the safety. Basically what that would require is you have to pull the trigger, and then while the bolt is moving forward, you have to be fast enough to engage to release the trigger and engage the safety while the bolt is moving forward.
Yeah, there should be a different safety.
That ain't
Double
gonna work.
safety, second safety.
The second safety is the fact that it's an open bolt machine gun, so that you have to pull the bolt all the way back in order to fire it. The reason I argued that is because the amount of times that I saw someone take apart an M249 that they had just cleared earlier, and they forgot that they had pulled the charging handle back and the bolt is locked to the rear, so they take the stock off the gun, and then the main spring goes boom and launches out of the back of the gun the moment they try to take it apart.
Oh, okay.
Because they forgot the bolt was locked to the rear.
Nice.
Because people are stupid.
Yeah, well...
I haven't seen something this size. Like, I haven't seen something with a 249. But a friend of mine did launch his firing pin and his spring, I don't know, god-awful amount of ways down a hallway when we were taking apart our 9mm. Check out Forgotten Weapons. I'll give it a shot, Alan. I'll give it a shot. Thank you. You got Urban Mech models, AC-20s. AC-20s. Yes, I know, Jenner, and that's what terrifies me.
Maybe if these guns are made with a consistent design,
Thank you, Alan.
they'd have to juggle all this stuff in their head. Not everyone is as gun savvy as you.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, Union Jack.
True. I don't know. That was just always my personal belief. I find it interesting that this has a selector lever on it because the M249 does not have a selector lever. It's full auto all the time. It is either on safe or it's on full auto.
Yep.
That's it.
Fair enough.
I'm trying to think about what machine guns have like selector levers. But
Semi-auto machine gun, I don't know.
there's not that many of them. I know the Fallschirmjäger 42 has a... I don't think it's a selector. I think that one has a dual trigger assembly. No, I'm thinking of the MG34. The MG34 has a dual trigger assembly. So you pull the first trigger, the one on the top. It's a trigger that has 2 scallops cut in it. You pull the first trigger, the one on the top. That one engages semi-auto fire. You pull the one on the bottom, and that engages full auto fire.
Okay.
But like the 249, the 240 Bravo, neither of those have a selector switch.
Not
I know
bad,
there's
Union.
there are some machine guns like the H&K, the H&K MG5, I believe that one has a selector switch. But usually for machine guns, there's, especially with open bolt machine guns, there's not really a good reason to put semi-auto.
Not
on
really,
them.
no.
Just because, like, open bolt machine guns, when you pull the trigger on an open bolt machine gun, you have all of the mass of the bolt moving forwards. On any type of open bolt gun, there's a delay in between, a very small one, but there is a delay in between when you pull the trigger and when the gun goes off. And the delay is larger on open bolt guns because the bolt has to move forward, chamber around, and then fire. So during that entire time, you're moving your very small amounts, you're moving the gun around, the mass of it shifting is moving the gun. So generally speaking, open bolt guns are going to be less accurate than a semi-auto gun. So generally speaking, there's really no reason to do a more accurate semi-auto only mode on an open bolt gun, just because you're not going to get the accuracy out of a semi-auto. So they just usually leave it on full auto. Also, it aids in simplicity.
They just don't want to burn through all that ammo very quickly because changing a drum mag is a pain in the ass sometimes.
I guess. Yeah, I guess you could argue that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is. Anyway, yeah, enough talk about this thing. I have to say that I like this thing a lot better than the base game assault rifle. This is much better. The lever on the very back is a safety.
Okay.
This one right next to it is the decocking lever. So you had to be able to carry this pistol. One of the requirements is the pistol had to be carried either cocked and locked, which is round chambered with the hammer all the way back and the safety on, or it had to be carried without the safety on and it decocked and the hammer forward.
Okay.
So that when you draw the pistol, you have to engage a double action trigger pull. The hole on the front is for attaching it's where part of the laser aiming module attaches to. That rail on the front is actually not a Picatinny rail. It is a proprietary rail that a proprietary laser mounts into.
Wait, it doesn't look like a Picatinny rail.
No, it isn't. But yeah, it's freaking beat. Like the spring. Okay, so this is one of the things I love about this gun. The spring on the inside that connects to the decocking lever on any other gun would just be like a little piece of wire. It would just be a little wire spring. On this one, it's like a 3-stranded braided wire.
So you wouldn't pull it out of a mechanical pencil.
No, it's like the spring. When I say like a little wire spring, it's just like a little curved piece of wire.
Oh.
The one that's on this is 3 strands of wire that are braided together and then built into a curve. It's so overbuilt. This gun is just overbuilt to hell, and I love it. And again, it's one of those things that it's like how I described the Desert Eagle. It's ostentatiously big.
Yeah.
It's loud. It's expensive. And for some reason, I want one real bad.
Okay.
I love this gun. The original versions of this gun actually had a thing on them that was you could lock the slide in place so that you could fire it. Did you ever play in any of the Metal Gear Solid games, the tranquilizer pistols, how you have to fire them and then manually rack the slide?
Yeah.
You basically had to do that with the original version of this gun.
All right.
You didn't have to do that. There was just a mode that you could engage where it would do that.
Okay. That was the M9 in that game, though.
Yeah, that was the M9, and then in one of the other ones, it was the Mark 22 Hush Puppy. But yeah, this thing is freaking chunky. Do you know? Speaking of Metal Gear Solid, do you know why they used the Desert Eagle and the FAMAS in Metal Gear Solid, the first one?
Because they were
The
very
only way you
boxy
get
and easy to
over
render.
this job.
Oh yeah, did I discuss that
everyone's
before?
up.
Probably.
Yeah, because they're just a
Probably.
big box, and it was super easy to render them.
Yeah.
Yeah. 249 and up. Yeah, I changed the heat shield. That definitely looks like a 249 heat.
I don't know why I've always liked that boxy look for for battle rifles. I've always liked that boxy look. The Scar 11, the FAMAS, the AUG. I like the way they just look. I just like the way they look.
Shield. 249 doesn't have that.
Muzzle and sight.
It doesn't have that front sight on it. The rear sight looks like the rear sight from a. It looks kind of like a Knight's Armor rear sight, which is a little interesting. But
Want to change their front sight then?
no, you can't.
You can't.
In
Yeah, the only thing I
249.
can change on it is put
I love
different
it.
scopes on it, and I don't like any of the scopes. Yeah, all the scopes are like, bleh. It's already actually a quick eject drum mag. Oh, all right, isn't that interesting? Neato. Yeah.
Yay!
The laser aiming module on this thing was an experimental laser aiming module that was designed by Wilcox. I saw, no, I've never actually seen one of those for sale. I take that back. It was an experimental laser aiming module. I forget what the exact nomenclature of it is. It's like a PEC something. It didn't last very long. The bulb that's on here is incandescent, and from what I hear, it's not very bright. And then it does have a visible and then an infrared laser, and the visible light on the front of it has a cap that you can attach that makes it an infrared aiming light. Oh. So, for use with night vision goggles on. The version they actually went with is made by Insight, and that one is the PEC 6?
Well, that's how many are in a 6-pack, so probably.
And the PEC 6 is, again, it's a visible light, visible laser, infrared laser. Okay. And I believe there's a way to put a filter on the front of it to change it to infrared light so that you can use it with night vision goggles.
Seeing the world in night vision is always a trip. Jenner, I don't even know what the Ninja Coffee Bar is. I gotta be honest with you.
Okay. But yeah, it's the other reason for adding this stuff to the front of it is that it adds like a counterbalance to the gun, so it helps control recoil on it.
Okay.
And I think, if I recall correctly, the red laser and infrared laser are both slaved together, which means that when you adjust one of them, it adjusts both of them.
Okay.
So you don't have to adjust two lasers for 2 points of impact. The both lasers are aiming for the exact same spot.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Halo Infinite handgun. Guys, what do you do with this much gun knowledge other than do what he does and work at a gun store? He knows so stupid much about guns, it's just crazy. Oh my god. So I actually gotta start talking to my wife about an actual rifle, because she's gonna need one. She's gonna need one. He is an STC, yeah. I actually gotta start talking to my wife about a rifle, and I don't mean like a AR or anything like that. I mean an actual rifle. So we gotta start talking about that. But in the meantime, God, the gun rants are so nice. Like, it's amazing to hear somebody talk this much about guns. I'm not sure what you could consider this in terms of like a watching experience. It's just hearing somebody rant so articulately about just flat out a subject that, one, I have interest in, but I know very little about. And two, he just knows so damn much. It's crazy. I should take a look at the other campfire stories? Maybe. Worlds, there is one more gun rant video. I'm going to have to figure out what's going on with that one because it's not as long. But I'm going to figure out some other series to take a look at. What is the rifle for? Hunt and sport? Yes and no, Matthew. Yes and no. Mainly for taking down certain types of animals and stuff like that. But she's gonna need before she gets any kind of large, because she eventually wants to get certain kinds of animals, and there are going to be certain types of predators that will attack. But yeah, For real, he pops off randomly in the main episodes frequently. Yeah. The Ninja Coffee Bar is a coffee maker that doubles as an espresso maker and has a built-in bean grinder. Dude, that's actually not that bad. But I'm not that big into coffee. There's some gun rant videos on Zach Hazard's personal channel. He got married. Nice. That's not bad. Get her a 50 caliber rifle? No thanks. I like my wife returned to me intact. Not with her shoulder like 5 inches behind her other shoulder because it's gotten... She would be having too much fun firing that damn thing off. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. She would have way too much fun firing that thing off. And by the time she stopped firing that thing off, I'd be in debt. An anti-rifle? What? Warpugs, I'm taking off. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to jump into... I need to get a couple of things resolved around here. And then I'm going to jump into Discord, say hey to some people. Before the stream ends, though, got 2 minutes to see Dr. Strangelove. Maybe sometime later, Tallest. I did have to run in and out of here. Get a $5,000 pistol from a dead country? What? No, she doesn't need an anti-tank rifle. Just doesn't. She doesn't need to be equipped like a Sister of Battle. It doesn't need to happen. Guys, I will catch you guys next time. Thank you for joining me. I will say hi to the pugs. I'm going to go say hi to that boy right now. And see how he's doing. Until then, guys, Tallest, send me that. I'll check it out before I head to sleep tonight, alright? I'll put it up. Just send it to me on Discord, okay? I'm heading out, Warpugs. I'll catch you later. She doesn't need a cannon, an anti-tank rifle, impad, or anything like that.